Let's talk the cut. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk the cut. Woo!
Hey everybody, it's Cutler on the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast. It is Tuesday, the 23rd of May. Really? Already? It is Tuesday, the 23rd of May, and the month is moving right along. And I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that we get a chance to spend another 1800 seconds together. And I'm glad that we get a chance to talk about things that I hope are inspirational. I hope things are motivational. I hope these things are even sometimes challenging, and that they push us out of our comfort zone, and they push us into a space where we are challenged to show up our best selves, even in the worst of situations. I really want to talk about that today. I want to talk about something that's just sort of near and dear to my heart. It's just important to me how I treat people. It's important to me the impact that I have on people. It's important to me the words that I speak. It's important to me how the words I speak are interpreted and how they are received. Those things are important to me. So I want to talk about, have we given people a license to be nasty? People get license for everything. They get a license to carry a gun. They get a license to drive a car. They get a license to open a business. They get a license to do so many things. Have we given people a license to be nasty? I wonder about that. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. And I used to say it was the younger people, but it's just cross all generational lines. It leaves me worrying about what has gone on and where are we going. I'm concerned about so many things. So you all are going to have to help me. Let me see if I could adjust this for just a second. So you all are going to have to help me as I think about this, as I try to process this and deal with it, because it makes me wonder, where are we going, and what have we done? Have we given people a license to be nasty? I'll talk about that. But before I do, I want to encourage people who are just chiming in for the first time. If this is your first time stopping by my station or by this platform, if this is your first time ever hearing of Let's Talk the Cutler, do me a favor. Why don't you just go ahead and subscribe? And then after you subscribe, click the notification bell, because it lets you know whenever I've gone live or uploaded new content. I promise you, we don't spend a lot of time talking about negativity on this platform. We don't spend a lot of time talking about somebody done me wrong. We don't spend a lot of time talking about gloom, doom, and depression and deep down despair and dreaded misery. We that's not what this platform is about. This platform challenges us. It challenges us to look at ourselves, sometimes in isolation and sometimes as a team. It challenges us to look at ourselves and say, have I shown up better today than I did yesterday? Am I intentional about showing up better tomorrow than I did today? I'm playing something in my head. I'm post-processing because I want to make sure I said that this platform is about making sure that we're intentional about showing up better today than we did yesterday. Yes. And that we are deliberate about trying to show up better tomorrow than we did today. You don't get that a lot of places. We don't get the prodding of people saying, hey, stop, take a look at yourself, do some self-examination here. Let's do some introspection and take a look at you within the context of you. Take a look at you within the context of you, without judgment from anybody else, without critique or criticism from anybody else. But just take a look at you and ask yourself, have I done all that I can today to show up my best self? And if the answer is yes, and if the answer is consistently yes, then hey, then you're batting 1,000, and that's good. But for those of us who don't necessarily meet the mark every single day, that's why we take this time to have these 1,800 seconds of conversation. I'm just wondering, y'all, I'm curious, have we given people a license to be nasty? Let me just shout out our LTDC VIPs. for this evening. Then I'll go on with the conversation. Those are the people who tend to jump in the chat before I even get a chance to say hi. It's always good to see y'all over in the chat. And now I know that some of you are online. I just can't see you in the chat. So come on in the chat. I want to see my friends. I want to see my family members. Come on, just jump in the chat. Do me a favor. I hope you all are having a great Tuesday. But the people I do see in the chat, the top three folk I see in the chat tonight are Tracy Johnson, Marissa, and Annie Cutler. It's so good to see all of you all. But you all, today I was thinking about how people act in business, how people do not always allow their integrity to show up. People will make you a promise and break the promise. People will take your money and just treat you all kinds of ways. So we're just going to talk about what have we done, what kind of license have we given people to make people behave so opposite of nice. We're really going to talk about that. It's good to see all of you, McDonough, Paula D, Linda, Fabulous Me, Rach. It's good to see all of you all. Let's talk about what have we done. Have we allowed people to be nasty? Or do we challenge people to be nice? You all help me out. You're going to have to talk back to me this evening. I'm wondering, do you challenge people to be nice? Do you just allow people to be nasty and you give them a pass and you say, oh, well, they're having a bad day, or, oh, well, that's just how they are? I'll tell you where part of this conversation comes from. Part of this conversation comes from, I have a few siblings, and sometimes we don't agree. Go figure. Sometimes we don't agree on how people should respond. I say to my siblings, I want people to respect me. I have several nieces and nephews and great nieces and nephews, and I defy them. I'm just telling you all, this is just me. So if you didn't know this side of Cutler, now you do. I defy my nieces and nephews to talk around me a certain way. They don't get to do that. And I don't care how old they are. They don't get to do it. They don't get to they don't get to engage in certain behaviors around me. You just don't get that, because there's a certain level of respect that I demand. Now, I'm not going to say I demand that from people who are strangers and people who come into my circles, but for the young people in my life, for the people that who are connected to me, there's a certain behavior that I demand. There's a certain behavior that I command, but there's also a certain behavior that I give. I give them respect. I'm kind to them. I'm courteous to them. I'm respectful to them. I have fun with them. I enjoy when they are around, and I hope they get that energy and love from me. But I demand their respect. I demand a certain behavior. And one of my siblings will often say to my nieces and nephews, the multiplicity of them, well, he may say to me sometimes, you just got to let people be real. Okay. You can be real, you can be transparent, but we have allowed this term, being real and being transparent, to equate with being rude and nasty and condescending and just sharp out the mouth and not thinking about what you're saying and not having an impact and just not concerned about how people respond to you and what they say. No. You have got to treat people, you've got to teach people how you want to be treated. You do. When it comes to your space, when it comes to your life, when it comes to, I see you, McDonough, when it comes to your time, for all of those things, you have got to teach people how you want to be treated. Let me put my glasses on so I can see the chat, because I think that I'm going to get some comments from you all coming in here. Yes, I also hold them accountable when they do wrong and praise them when absolutely. And with the young folk, I am that godfather. I am that uncle. I'm that great uncle. Whenever they do something that I find wonderful, I applaud them. I will be the first to reward them. I will be the first to applaud them. I will be the first to do so many things. One great nephew did well in pre-K the other day for something. I don't even remember what it was, but all I know is that As soon as he ran in the house, I had a $5 bill. Thank goodness he's pre-K, right? But I had a $5 bill, and I said, "This is because I am so proud of you, your great uncle. I'm so proud of you for the wonderful things that you do. So take this, and mommy is going to take you shopping, or you should put it in your bank and you'll save it or something." But I'm the first to reward them, to commend them, to applaud them, to celebrate them. I'm the first one. But by the same token, I'm the one who demands respect of them, and I want them to learn discipline. I want them to learn self-control. I want them to learn to be even tempered, so that when they go out in the world, when they go into the marketplace, when they go into the workplace, when they go into industry, when they're competing for jobs, when they're walking into classrooms, when they're in different circles or different spaces, they have self-control. And we have just not given them the license to be nasty. We just have not given them the license to say, "Oh, you got to be real." We have just not given them the license to say, "Oh, you just got to be transparent. Oh, you just got to be yourself." Yeah, you got to be your respectful self. You got to be your self-controlled self. You got to be your self-disciplined self. I've gotten off, and I haven't even really gotten into the crux of what I want to talk about. Let's see what are you all saying. Honestly, I don't always demand people to treat me with utmost respect, but I'm working on that every. Rachel, I'm telling you, listen, my friend, I didn't always demand it either. Whenever I would walk away from a situation, let's see, McDonough, I demand people to be on time. Absolutely, be on time. Yes, I agree about that. Yeah. So, but listen, I didn't always demand it either. But whenever I would walk away, saying to myself, this is what I would say. I would walk away saying to myself, you know what, I don't want to be around them. But can I tell you, the flaw was in me? Why would I put myself in a situation, then walk away saying I don't want to be around them when when I was around them, I could have possibly helped set the temperature in the room. I could have had an impact on the environment. I could have had an impact on how things played out. Why walk away and then complain when I could have done something while I was there? That's all I'm saying. And that's where I found myself saying, you know what? I don't ever have to hang around them another day of my life. Why do that? Why not take the opportunity to offer what could be a teachable moment? But of course, when you offer teachable moments, you have to offer it from a place of helpfulness, a place of respect, a place of courtesy, and a place of love. Yes, I guarantee I give us all of that. And so I decided, rather than walking away saying, you know what, I don't ever want to be bothered with them again, I decided, you know what, I want to have a positive impact on their life, because perhaps I was not, when I was growing up, when I was younger, as a younger person, perhaps I was not always at my best around people. And I wonder if they ever walked away from me saying, you know what, I don't ever want to deal with him again. And there may have been people who said that, but thank God there were people on the other hand who took the opposite end of the spectrum and said, you know what, let me teach you how you need to behave. Let me remind you of this. And I'm not saying I was a belligerent and obnoxious person, because that was not me. But there were things that still could be improved. There were things that could still be sharpened. There were things that still could be tweaked. And I'm so thankful that there were people who did not give up on me, but people who taught me by precept and example that this is how you carry yourself in this situation. This is what you say when the conversation goes this way. This is how you manage yourself in these kinds of situations. That's why I can talk about really trying to show up your best self, even in the worst of situations, because like so many of us, I've been in some situations that were not the best. And now the me that shows up is not the same me that showed up when I was 20 and 30, but it is the me who shows up with the benefit of life, who shows up with the wisdom of ages. All right. So then, Paula D, I'm with you. I used to tell some disrespectful employees, you might not like me, but you are going to respect me. Absolutely, you're going to respect me. If we have to be in the same space, in the same circle, you're going to respect me. I demand that. But guess what? As I demand your respect, I command myself to give you respect as well. I've seen people in businesses, you all, just in restaurants, just nasty and think it's okay. I've seen people in contractual relationships lying to each other, manipulating each other, trying to exploit each other. I've just seen all of that. And it makes no sense. And sometimes we allow it. But I challenge us to step up and take the responsibility. Yes, we love the inspiration, we love the motivation, but what about if we challenge ourselves to say, you know what? Let me step up. because perhaps this person did not get what I got in life. Perhaps this person did not have someone to say to him or her, no, 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 that's not how you carry yourself in this situation. That's not how you respond to this situation. That's not what you do. I will never forget you all. Of course, you all know I've been a professor on the university level for many years, and I remember there were students. I those of you who can handle elementary and secondary, God bless you. I just didn't have the inclination to deal with that. But on the university level, there were students who would sometimes get very upset and annoyed about people don't even professors don't do this anymore, pop quizzes and exams and those sorts of things. And they would get upset based on how hard they think I had graded them, that sort of thing. And whenever I would go over an exam, inevitably I would have a student who wanted to challenge me. Now, I've always said to my students, you can say whatever you want to say to me. You can say whatever you want to say, but be mindful of how you say it. And without fail, there were one or two students from time to time who lost sight of the fact that I told them, be careful how you say it. And what would I do? I would stop class and hold court. My class was a very popular class, so there tended to be lots of people in it. But I would stop class and hold court. I said, okay, hang on. Everybody put your pens and pencils and papers down for just a moment because we're about to have a life lesson. And I was a business law professor, but business law took a back seat in those moments. And I said, put your pens and papers down. We're gonna have a life lesson. And that's what I would do. And then at the end of the conversation, I would say to those students, those particular students who were, the guilty party, if you will, at the moment, I would say to them, I had that conversation with you because not many other professors are going to stop and have that conversation. Not many people are going to stop and have that conversation. But this is not about a lesson in what happens in my classroom in this moment. This is a lesson about what's going to happen to you in life, and you may not always get a second chance. So the lessons that I would teach them about being nasty, I did it out of a place of love. And I made sure they knew that it came from me teaching the next generation of how to survive in the world, how to show up your best selves. I've been teaching people how to show up their best selves in the worst of situations for many years, even when I step into when I step into the classrooms, when I step into my office, when I step into places of worship, wherever I go, my goal is always it has always been in recent years to remind and to model people, you've got to show up your best self. So you all tell me, are you showing up your best self these days? And are you making sure that you model for other people how to show up their best selves, or are we giving them a license to be nasty? It is so important to me to be nice. It is so important to me to be nice. It really is. Y'all talk to me. Is it important to you to be nice? Is niceness is not I taught pre-K 1 year and new teaching was not for me. I agree with that color. Life lessons, yes, we have got to teach people life lessons, particularly our young people, because I don't want to be guilty of saying we lost a generation, yet I did nothing. Don't want to. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't want to be guilty of that. I don't want to be guilty of saying whatever happened to that generation of people, what happened to them, yet I took no interest in them, yet I had no vested interest in their learning, in their becoming, and in their growing, in their maturation. I took no interest in that at all. Yeah, I just let them say and do what they wanted to do. And then I talked about them. No, I'm not going to talk about them. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to get in the fight with them, and I'm going to do the best that I can. You all talk to me. Is it important? Is it important to you to be nice? For some people, it's just not important. And not only that, you have to ask yourself, am I a nice person? Let me put these glasses on so I can see you all. Let's see. Yes, I tried my best to be nice. And when I'm not in the best of moods, just keep quiet. Tracy, that we all need to learn that. Marissa, I had to tell one of my coworkers, please watch how you talk to me. I said it in a respectful tone. But yes, absolutely, my friend Marissa, we've got to command respect. Sylvia, yes, I see you, my friend. You said, yes, it is important. It's important to be nice. And then you have to ask yourself, am I a nice person? And then not only am I a nice person, but you have to say to yourself, yeah, you have to find resolve within yourself and say, why am I nice? It's important to me. It's important to me that I am nice. And then we have to ask ourselves, am I teaching? Am I stressing? Am I emphasizing the importance of being nice? So let's examine this thing. I know we've been talking for a while, but let's examine this. And I may have to pick this up and make this what we talk about today and in a couple of days. Just being nice. Period. We have to ask ourselves: am I a nice person? You want to know? And I feel I'm a nice person. I see you, Rach, and I feel I'm a nice person. Yes, treat others how you want them to treat you. Absolutely. Yes, I always try to be nice to people every day. And let me just say this, y'all. You have to ask yourself, am I a nice person? Because see, for some people, it doesn't matter that they just don't care about being nice. There are some people who are just mean and nasty and abrasive and irascible and caustic and all of those kinds of things, and they just don't care. And they'll say things like, "Oh, you just caught me on a bad day. You caught me in the wrong moment. You caught me when I was just in a mood. You caught me when I, you caught." No. For some people, it seems like every time we catch you, you are nasty. But let's talk about being nice. You want to know if you're a nice person, and now you're saying to myself, am I a nice person? Again, some people just don't care. But for those of us who care about being nice and you want to make sure you're a nice person, you want to make sure that you are a nice person. Here's how you know whether or not you're a nice person. People seem to enjoy your company. They want to be around you. They enjoy your space. They enjoy your energy. They enjoy your vibe. They enjoy your presence. That's a sign that you are a nice person. They want to be around you. They want to share time and space with you. That's an indication that you're a nice person. Another indication that you're a nice person is that you feel compassion for people. You feel empathy for people. That is a sign that you're a nice person. I'm concerned about how they feel. I don't want people to experience the harshness of life. I feel bad when people have trials and tribulations and they have valley moments more than they have peak mountaintop experiences. I empathize with them and I'm compassionate. That's a sign that you are a nice person. One of my favorite sayings is rough out here for everyone. I try to give a compliment or a kind word when I can. And that is the one thing that we all need to do, McDonough. We can take a page from your book. We need to learn how to give compliments and kind words when we can. That's a sign that you are a nice person. Giving genuine compliments. A friend of mine told me years ago, that it didn't cost you anything to give people compliments. And he said, you have to learn to give compliments and not be so concerned about what onlookers and people standing by the wayside think about the compliment that you gave. Now, you just learn to give genuine compliments. That's a sign of being nice. Let me see what you all are saying. Also, it's important to point out to other friends and family when they treat others bad, no matter if they like you telling them that or not. Absolutely. We cannot be enablers. How many times do we stand around and we watch people be nasty to people? We watch other folk treat people with disrespect and lack of courtesy. We watch that. We stand by and we watch it and we let it happen. We are enabling and we're giving a license to people to be nasty. And sometimes you just got to say to people, that's not right. How you said that was not kind. What you said was not right. We've got to call people on that stuff. Otherwise, they think it's okay. We enable it. We enable that kind of behavior, and we should not. I try to find a way, Juanita says, I try to find a way to make someone smile when I come into their presence, not knowing what they are going through. Absolutely. That means you're compassionate, you're kind, you're caring, you're concerned about how people feel. You don't know what they've gone through, but for that moment, you find that you find that it is important to offer the positivity that you bring. Just trying to make them smile. It's important to you that they smile. Thank you for that, Juanita. It's important. I want people to feel good around me. I want them to smile. And when they frown, when they're sad, I don't like that. And I want to know what's going on. Can I help? What can I do? Can I? And even if I can't change the situation, maybe I can just be a shoulder for you to lean on at the moment. Maybe I can just be an ear for a sounding board. Maybe there's something I can do. I'm compassionate. I'm empathetic. And then, yes, giving compliments. Annie Cutler, I'm a very nice person. Indeed, you are. Indeed, you certainly are. I'm encouraged by your comments in the chat this evening. I really am. We have to strive to be nice, and we have to teach the next generation. And sometimes we have to teach our generation just how to be nice, because somebody taught some people in our generations how to be nasty. They learned that behavior, and then they in turn teach other people. So we have to unteach them, if you will. Other signs that we're nice, or that we're trying to be nice and striving to be nice, is that you listen to what people have to say. You actively listen to what other people have to say. How many times do we say we're listening, but we really don't? Oh, I'm listening, but do you hear me? Are you paying attention? We have to think about this, you all. We have to be ambassadors of niceness. Hmm. That resonated with me for just a moment. We have to be ambassadors of niceness. We have to. For every nasty person, we've got to be an ambassador of niceness. Linda says, I've had instances where I've been behind a rude customer and tried to make the cashier feel better. Absolutely, Linda. I've done the same thing, because I've seen people mistreated, particularly when it comes to cashiers, and they sit there and they feel like they have to take it because it is their job. And people say to them, the customer is always right. But how many of us know that God's honest truth is the fact that the customer is not always right? Within the context of business, that is a business idiom. That is the business cliche. That is a business rule. But the truth of the matter is that the customer is not always right. And some customers are mean and nasty, and they take advantage of the cashiers, because they know that a lot of times a cashier's job is online if something goes out of sync. And I'm with you, Linda. I've done the same thing. I've watched people mistreat cashiers. And when it's my time and my turn to come up in front of that cashier, I try to do the best I can to pull the weight off that moment. And I'll say things like, it's okay, you know what, you were right. And I know, because you're a cashier, some things you can't say, but you might want to say. But you pick yourself up and you have a good day anyway. So a lot of times being nice, a sign of being nice is just listening to what people have to say. A lot of times being nice, you all, is also just taking responsibility for some of the things that we know we do and say, taking a responsibility for our own mistakes. Let's see, Tracy says, when I call a business or go to the store, I try to always ask cashiers and receptionists how they're doing, and they act shocked that I ask. Yes, Tracy, because the norm is we act as if they are invisible people, invisible in the society, standing right in front of us. And we treat them like they're invisible. Go out and read Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. It'll reshape your world about how we treat people, acting as if they don't exist and they're standing right in front of us. We don't even acknowledge them. We don't make them feel heard or feel seen. But being nice is making sure that we do our best to make sure people know that they are heard and seen and that they matter. I spend a lot of time with this, but can I say this, you all? Because it is important to be nice. Being nice, you know that you're a nice person when you're honest and when you're respectful, when you're kind to other people, when you're kind to yourself. and when you are supportive of people, those are signs that you are a nice person. And it is important to me to be nice. And once again, let's consider ourselves for the next week or so. Let's just consider ourselves ambassadors of niceness. And don't forget, of all people, make sure that you're nice to yourself. Make sure that you continue to love yourself, but let's be nice to other people, you all. And to the extent that we can do anything about it and have an impact on other people's lives, let's be nice. It is just nice to be nice. I want to thank you all for spending this time with me. Thank you for putting up with me as I go on this rampage, because I don't like seeing people exploited and manipulated and taken advantage of and maltreated, and treated in very ill manners and ill ways and disrespectful. I just don't like that. And to the extent that I can, I will always be of the position that in order for me to show up my best self in the worst of situations, I have to look at the situations that what can I do to help change that situation for the better. And sometimes it's just showing up and being nice. You all listen, let's continue doing what we do. Let's keep building community, maintaining connectivity, keep your heads up, keep your hopes up, stay safe, stay sane. Don't be nasty, but be nice. Tell people, come on and let's talk the color. In fact, if you know people who need to be a little nicer, you don't have to tell them that, but tell them to come on and talk to color, because next time we chit chat, we're going to talk about a little bit more about being nice. All right. Please know that from my heart to yours, you all, there is and always will be so much love. I'll see you all the next time. Good night, everybody.